coronavirus have done some good for some people and some bad for some other people. So it's really up in the air based off of the the athlete you are. You might be okay. For LeBron James, I feel like you're okay. For Kevin Durant, you're okay. You're fine. But for your newer guys, your rookies, your sophomores, those guys are still trying to get their foot in the league. The coronavirus is kind of slowing that down. I really, as an athlete, I'm thinking about those guys and the fact that you might have bought a very expensive car, a very expensive house, something expensive, and now boom, there's no more checks, no more endorsements, no more fans. The state is kind of, in my opinion, right now for the players is really bad. I feel like they need to make sure they know what their next moves is, how they're going to go about the coronavirus. Other than that, I feel like the safeties of the players should really come first. Everybody's trying to get back to the game, which is fun, but honestly, if these guys go out there and they get sick, who is it going to be on? They're going to throw it on them and say, well, you didn't have to come out here. Well, that's not fair. And then, with the fans not being there as well, I to be honest, I don't know about that, man. I don't know how to feel about that one.
Man, I tell you, it's a real touchy subject. And D, you're right. I mean, it's not just one or two sides of this. I mean, because you got, like you said, you got to consider the player safety. You got to consider the fan safety, and you got to also consider that this pandemic has really kind of collapsed the economy. And the thing that we kind of talked about before, and we know this as sports, the whole sports community and the sports family, is that sports bring us together. And not having sports around, we feel somewhat naked. I mean, the last NBA game was played back in like early March. And right now we'd be talking about, okay, the playoffs is early. It like right now would be the NBA playoffs, and we don't have that anymore. Now everything's up in the air. Now, of course, we just witnessed a really good job that the NFL did with the NBA, or excuse me, the NFL draft. It was virtual, and I just got to throw this out there. I laugh at it because if you're not there at the draft, then it's always virtual for you. So I didn't see really a real difference in the NFL draft, but they executed that immaculately. And I really enjoyed the fact of they still stuck to the same format. It was a 3-day weekend starting Thursday, Friday, and concluding Saturday. They did a really good job. As a matter of fact, I think they said it was the highest viewed draft of all times. And obviously, I didn't think anything different. I knew it was going to happen, but they did a really good job of that. Back to that kind of the question or kind of statement of where do we go in terms of keeping the fans safe, because fans want to get back to the game. They want to get back to the arenas. They want to watch their beloved sport, whether that be NFL, NBA, the NHL, and baseball season. I mean, America's sport. How do you safely execute bringing the fan base back into the arenas, the stadiums, so on and so forth? I don't have a good answer, but one thing I can say is that if they can find a way to, with technology, to really include the players and the fans. You said something, D, earlier before we started that you're right. That's a part of the game, and you know that better than most. My boy D played at such a high level. That the fan interaction is what makes the game. And I'm not gonna steal your thunder. I'm gonna throw you another lob, homie, man, and you take it from there.
Man, I appreciate the love, man. I'm so thankful to even make it to the level I did make it with playing arena ball. I learned a lot from George Cumby, the linebacker from the Green Bay Packers, the old school Green Bay Packers, the Cheeseheads. Learned a lot from him. We used to butt heads a lot, but he got on my butt and he got me right. I remember when he introduced me to Barry Switzer. I met a lot of good people along my little path, and I'm so thankful, man. So I really appreciate you saying that, and for the people who see this video, I really appreciate you guys as well too. But my answer for the fan question would be kind of more of a like a well organized game with the fans being organized in the sense of hygiene. I know that sounds weird, but instead of walking through a metal detector, you walk through a sanitized it's like a metal detector, but you understand what I'm saying. I hate to get lost for words, but you kind of walk through that like how you walk in a hospital and it gets colder, kind of like that kind of scenario walking through the stadium. Maybe having all games in a dome, and that way you can how many people are in there, and every person that leaves, you give them something. Maybe you give them a pamphlet that says, make sure you do this if this happens to you. Make sure you do that. Make sure you call these people if you have a sickness. Because I honestly believe, and this is just my belief, I honestly believe, say if that happened, say if they went through with this little idea I just thought of right now, and say when that 40 to 50,000 fans went home, nobody got sick in that 50,000, because they say 46,000 it died from the coronavirus. So say, usually that's how many people it is at a football game. So say they go home, none of them get sick. Well, now we have an actual real evidence of a group of people being together, screaming, yelling, raving, sweating, everything, touching each other, hand clapping, the whole nine. And they're home. 15 days later, these people are fine. Now we can actually have a real identity in drive towards the coronavirus, because we really don't. So to me, I feel like to hold the fans out with no answer, with no scene, with no nothing, it's wrong for them too. It's like you don't know what's going on, so why would you make it seem like you do? Keep us away from something we love to do, we love to watch, and come to find out you really don't know what's going on. I mean, man, I was walking, me and my wife was walking by White Oak Lake out here in Dallas, and a guy stopped. He seen I had on an Army shirt. My wife was in the Army. I always wear Army shirts to let her know that she's still winning the race. And he stopped us, and they were talking about the Army stuff. And I okay, see, you caught the wife joke. You caught the wife joke. That's what I wanted. That's how I know I'm old. So my wife and his wife talking, and me and him started skipping rocks. This is when I knew it was serious. We started to get competitive with skipping rocks due to no ESPN. And it was funny. The guy was like, man, ESPN needs to see this right now. We just skipped rocks like 3 skips. And we were so serious. And people do not understand, going back to the first question, how it just brings us together. It brings us so close together. Sports connects us so closely that it makes no sense. It connects us better than school. It connects us better than a lot of stuff. So, we just got to figure something out for these fans. To be honest, like, that's not fair. Don't hold me out the game. And I'm damn sure ain't finna watch LeBron James dunk on Kawhi Leonard over, a tablet. I want to see this.
Yes,
There's a beef going on there, and we need to see. I got to see that game. I got to see it. I got to feel it. I got to hear it. If I have the money to go, I want to go, and I want to be able to experience that. I've took my daughters to the Spurs game, the playoff Spurs game. That was the first NBA game I ever went to, and it was ridiculous. I could barely breathe, talk. My daughter was sitting on my lap, and she couldn't even hear me talk because they were so livid in there, man. They were ready to go. So that feeling, having, being in there, being on the other side when I'm seeing the fan interaction. Yeah, we need to help these fans, because These fans are the reason we're at where we're at now in sports. These same fans are the reason we coming up with these new podcast groups. These fans build a lot, so we need to do it for them. We need to figure out a way to get them in there, sanitize hands. It doesn't matter. It might take a longer time to get in the stadium, but look, you got in the stadium. You're
Yeah.
in the stadium. You get to watch the game. Everybody's safe. Everybody's healthy. Okay, cool. Go from there. When you get home, 15 days later, report. There's nothing wrong with me. If 75% of that group, there's nothing wrong with them, and then the other group, because usually, I mean, you will have. I just feel like certain places colder, hotter. You might have certain type of issues, but other than that, I mean, let's figure something out, man. As a sports group, man, let's figure it out. Let's let's get it done.
Yeah, yeah. I think you touched on some D that's really pivotal. Pivotal. I think and I just thought of this, because in no way, shape, or form do I ever want to convey a message that that we don't care about safety for all. And I agree with you. Sports, I mean, like as far back as I can remember, I've always loved sport, regardless of what it was. It's the competitive nature of men and women and all kids getting together to accomplish an end result of a W, and hopefully not an L. But something that you said that really kind of hit home in terms of having sanitized stations where fan bases enter that and they get sanitized. Their whole body gets sanitized, like misters. Like if you're out on a patio on a hot summer day and you're at a restaurant, they have those misters that keep it cool. So having the type of misters that when you enter the arena, it's kind of sanitizing, a person's body. But even let me kind of rewind back a little bit. Something that I think may possibly work is that, what if, let's say here in Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks wanted to kind of bring fans back into the venue, and say they start off with, let's say, 10,000 fans, 10,000 random fans, where they send some type of communication out, and basically it's a contract that says we like to gradually bring fans back into the mix. By signing this waiver, you agree to the rights of the Dallas Mavericks, yourself. You're gonna come to the game for free, but understanding what you're signing off for is that, hey, look, you're entering this contract on your own terms, understanding that, hey, look, we're not responsible for A, B, and C, whatever that is. So basically, having someone not like a draft philosophy of bringing fans in, but they have that, and you can reject this draft. You don't. It's not. You're not. Held to the standard of, okay, if you decline this invite, you're going to be held accountable. That's not what I'm saying. More so that you get this invite, that if you want to attend this game, you can for free, but understanding that, hey, look, it's at your own risk. These are the precautionary things that the Mavericks are taking. Sanitizing stations, with each seat, they're going to space, you're going to be 6 feet apart, or whatever the distance is that 10,000 people are even maybe it's 5,000. I don't know the exact number, but the point is that there's still distance between each fan. Each fan will get a kit that has sanitizer in it, that have mask in it, with the Dallas Maverick logos. And of course, this approach could be taken by any NBA team, any NFL team. And with that, it comes with, a kit that says, just like you said, that has a brochure of facts and saying, this is what you need to do after you leave. Every little bag, every kit will have Lysol spray, so that way when you're leaving the game, you spray your shoes. All the things that we've learned in the media about how to help protect yourself. And so that way, to your point, every one of those invited people can, report back to the Mavericks facility and their ownership to say, hey, look, 14 days after attending this game, I'm okay. I have self-testing kits, so that way they can, and it's already populated with a mailing label. That way it can be tracked. So when they put it in the mail, whether it's UPS or FedEx or whatever, it can be tracked. And it goes back to the CDC, who is in partnership with these pro sports teams. So that way we can start conducting, okay, what if somebody got sick? So that way they can pump the brakes on it. But what if, to your point, nobody got sick? It's 14 days later, and they can start branching in more people. And, this is, and let's be real, the government they can do all this stuff. The point is that to your point is to slowly but surely start bringing back the things that we love so much, which is sports. The essential services is one of those, is the liquor store. That never shut down. That's an essential service. So why can't sports be treated the same way? I just, that's an essential part of our lives. And because right now, let's be real, everybody tuned in 2 weeks ago and even last week to watch The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls 96 team, The Last Dance. Everybody tuned in there. My babies wanted to watch that. They like, Michael Jordan. I'm like, oh, shucks, I didn't know y'all knew who Michael Jordan was. But I mean, I think, long story short, I just honestly believe that there can be a plan put in place, executed, and basically, the teams can, evaluate what progress that they've made, if any, and not just completely suspend it and shut it down. I think pro sports team have done a good job with, kind of putting things at a pause after kind of realizing that, hey, they needed to do this. And I mean, throwing some names out there, famous pro sports players that have tested positive, and I think the biggest one that kind of started first was with Rudy Gobert. And what he did, he kind of didn't take it serious, and, rubbing the mic and, kind of, doing some things that, that really kind of displayed that it wasn't serious at that time until it was. And of course, by now, everybody knows Rudy Gobert he tested positive. And then also, I don't want to misinform anybody and say, okay, his roommate or his teammate got it from him, but his teammate, Donovan Mitchell, contracted it too as well. So I think it was safe to say that, hey, look, the more educated that we are about this, the more proactive we can be with devising a plan and a solution to go forward.
Man, I want to start out with this. You ain't have to do me like that with the misters. I was thinking of Mister, and I was like, nah, I can't remember. I'm gonna just let it go. I'm gonna just keep doing this, and hopefully he'll know what this means.
Trust me, I was over there too, like, what is it?
I was like, God damn it, he said misters. He said exactly what it was. He said exactly what I was trying to say. But man, I think your idea was kind of better than my idea. With a group of people, a liability waiver. That I kind of like that a lot. That's kind of cool. Like you get there, you know it's for free, so you get to see Luka for free. And Luka's in the West, the Mavericks in the West, so the West always got to get the best games. Hell, the West games look like playoffs games. So I mean, who wouldn't sign that waiver to go watch that game? To me, it sounds so perfect that they wouldn't do it. That they would not want to do it because it's too good to be true. Like, oh man, give everybody a liability waiver, and then you come and you watch this free game with athletes who you never can watch for free. So
Exactly.
it's one of those things where it's like, man, that will actually be something really good if they really wanted to do it. Like I love that idea if they was like, you know what, let's do this to see what happens. But I don't think people have that risky trait to them no more. I think that left the building back in 2010. So everybody's so afraid. Um, so I don't think anybody would want to do that. I think everybody would be scared to. Again, me personally, I feel like if you keep your hygiene up, you stay one step ahead of the curve, you should be fine from the coronavirus. It shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't affect you that way. And by God, I hope it doesn't. Anyone, family, not family, I don't care who you are. I hope that doesn't hurt you or hurt your pockets. I know it has, but I'm saying this to say, I actually care. I hope everybody is doing better after this. I can't wait till it's over to see, what people learn through their storms that they've been through in this situation and stuff like that. But back to the whole thing, the state of pro sports right now is just is crazy. Everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. People trying to figure out the best thing to do. Some people talking about money. Some people talking about fans. Uh, it's all over the place. When they finally get to their bottom line, I think that's when they're going to bring us an answer. But until then, I feel like they're going to stay all over the place. I feel like the NFL, well, with what they been talking about recently, with what they've been talking about recently with fans and playing games without fans and doing the whole um, they get the team together and the team would just be together for 5 months by themselves. They wouldn't be with no one else. They wouldn't be able to go home to their families, so on and so forth. That's just too much. Now at that point, you sound like you're not even playing the sport you love. It sounds like you have to play the sport, and if you leave and go home, you're in trouble because you might get your family sick. So it's just it really sounds like Hunger Games, except with states and not quadrants. It's like Dallas versus the Portland Trailblazers, and it's like, yeah, Texas versus Portland. Like it's hilarious. So it's again, it's all over the place, and like I said, I just hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody have a good plan for their families, for themselves. As speaking for the athletes, for the fans, you guys just stay at home right now until they come up with something. But for the athletes, I hope you guys got a good plan. I know this is weird to say, but man, I'm so glad I'm done with sports. My bad, y'all. I'm done, baby. I'm finna coach and do everything else. It's just getting, new obstacles coming up like this. Like, this is a brand new obstacle. When I was playing sports, it was like, guys being huge. When I was in high school playing Texas football, guys were huge. And going to college, guys were huge. That was the thing. Like, now, like, the battle is coronavirus. That's terrible. So it's like you get there, you're doing your competition with the guy in front of you, and you're like, oh, there's another guy in front of you, corona. So I just hope athletes stay smart, man, because this is crazy. And we're joking right now because you want to laugh, you want to stay positive in situations like this, because if you don't, that's when the negativity starts to truly creep in and take over. So dude, I agree with you wholeheartedly, not because we just on the show together, but because it's something positive. And man, I like I said, I just really hope sports start, it comes back. I can't wait to go to the games. I can't wait to, talk to people, all of that, man. Interview people, with the show, how we doing it now. I can't wait. All my friends, I can't wait to talk to these guys. I want to hear what they talking about. I still got some friends who still playing football. Got some guys who's coaching. Shout out to the Dallas Renegade running back, Brazard. That's my man. I know him. He cool with my man, Tony Curtis. Shout out to Tony Curtis. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to get back, man. I wanted to get back.
Yes, sir. Man, I tell you, man, D, that was, I mean, it's perfect. I don't think anybody could say it better. I mean, it's sports at the end of the day, at the beginning of our days, in the middle of it, is we eat, sleep, and consume sports all day long. You know, it's part of the fabric of the world, not just in America, but the world. And when a pandemic like this can cripple your economy and cripple sports, it's really hard to see what the future holds. I think something in conclusion that we'll always say is that, you know, without people, without interaction, the sport can be diminished. The whole point of sport is to have a winner, and there's going to ultimately be a loser. And I think in a situation and a pandemic like this, we all lose. Um, so I think one of the things that we can do, as you were saying, is, you know, we be safe, we be responsible, we be vigilant in terms of how we proceed. You know, because as you said, I love what you said. Um, Being in Dallas, I'm not a native Texan, but what I can tell you, in Texas, they embrace you. They embrace sport. They embrace that whole Southern hospitality. And when you think of sports and you think of not having it, it really, what do you have to embrace? Um, I really want to say, you know, give a shout out to the world and saying, hey, be mindful, and understanding that we need each other to get through this. You know, be there for one another. The sports family, the sports community means everything to the game of sports. Without us, there can't ultimately be sports. Yeah, you have the players, and the players are out there, you know, playing the sport, winning the sport. The coaches are coaching, but the fan interaction, without it, what is sport? It's practice. Without fans, it's really ultimately practice. Um, and I tell you, I really want to thank my boy D for being on this bright and early Saturday morning. You know, we're practicing all the things that we've been taught in terms of social distancing, and sanitizing our hands, and constantly. You know, I want to make sure that we all know that there's some way, shape, or form, there's going to be good that comes out of this. Send out our thoughts and our prayers to everybody that's impacted, whether it's somebody you know personally or something that you've read and seen on the news. So, be safe out there, sports family. We appreciate you. We love you. And you guys are going to hear more of some dope content, man. We're going to bring consistent dope content from a different perspective. We're going to have fun with this. We're not going to, let anything tear us down from getting this content out to you. So, hey, sports family, without further delay, we're going to send you a salute. We out. Peace.
All right, y'all, man. Y'all have a good day. Sorry I didn't turn my mute off fast enough. Edit that out. You guys have a good life, man. Stay blessed, stay positive. King out, man.